Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Freight Forward Talks powered by Three Line Shipping. I'm your host for today's episode, Sunita, and this episode is really special to me. We're going to take a step back and look into the basics of freight forwarding, what it truly means, why it matters, and how it is adapting to the ever changing fast logistic world. And to do so, I have with me someone who not only has years of industry experience but also is a part of my professional journey. Mr. Shijin has been working with the company in the capacity of chartering manager. He's been associated with Three Line Shipping since 2001 and has played a key role in shaping its growth and development. He is also my mentor, my go to person in case of any confusion or if I need any guidance. So it is my absolute honor and privilege to host him for today's episode. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thank you, Sunita. Thanks
How are
for
you
having
feeling,
me.
sir?
I'm good. All well.
I would like to begin on a lighter note and just out of curiosity, I just wanted to understand how did you choose this industry?
Well, that was by accident. So this was the first job that I got offered when I came to Dubai and started my career. So yeah, since then it has been a learning experience. Every day has been basically a new learning experience for me. New challenges every day. You're learning every day. So yeah, it's quite
So you
exciting to
like
me.
new challenges.
Yeah, I like learning actually. So yeah, so I've learned a lot and still learning. So yeah, that's how
Yeah,
the
we
process
can't
has
stay
been.
in a job which is too monotonous. If there is a new challenge, there is new excitement in that job.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Correct. That's why I come to you for all the guidance. And
yeah.
why do you continue with the same industry, sir?
See, it's basically every day being challenging. You have every day new shipments, which is of course our responsibility as a freight forwarder to deliver it on time without any hassles for the client and maintain transparency at the same time in a cost effective manner. So yeah, dealing with overseas partners, clients, vessel owners, everything. So that has been challenging and it has been learning experience as well for me all these years. So yeah, I'm still learning and that's how years have passed by.
So let's move to the fundamentals. What freight forwarding actually is?
Freight forwarder is basically an intermediary between an exporter and an importer where they move their shipments from point A to point B, understanding the customs and dealing with multiple shipping lines. So yeah, we make their life easier for them and we deliver the shipment on time in a cost effective manner, dealing with multiple shipping lines, give them multiple options on how this has to be done. Okay, if there is a time bound cargo, then it needs to move by air, or if the cost is an issue, then we move it by sea. If it can be moved by road, so this is how we guide our clients on which will be the cost effective manner and the fastest way to have the cargo delivered or shipment delivered to them.
As you have mentioned that we are the intermediaries, so I'm supposing we are intermediaries in between the shipping line and shipper and consignee. So if this shipping line and airline they already exist, what is our role? How we are facilitating a shipment?
See, shipping line is basically they are a provider where they have their own vessels, they have their own ships, and as a freight forwarder, we are just an intermediary who handles the shipment for a client where we have vast knowledge of customs procedures, clearance, documentation, how it can be done. These all can be conveyed to the client and we move shipments on a more cost effective manner for them. That's
So
how it
freight
is.
forwarders in a way are comparing the different shipping lines
Yeah,
and
we provide them multiple options on how it can be moved and how the cargo can reach the destination in a timely manner by, of course, educating the clients on how the documentation or the clearance process, everything has to be done and can be done.
what is NVOCC, sir?
NVOCC is basically a service provider who have their own containers, but they don't have their own vessels, own ships. So they just buy space from the shipping lines, and then yeah, they give it to a freight forwarder or a client for the booking and everything.
So how all these parties are different? How shipping line is different from NVOCC? How NVOCC is different from freight forwarder? How is it different from airlines? What are their roles? How they
Well,
differentiate?
shipping line and airlines, they have their own assets. I mean, their shipping lines have their own vessels.
Vessel.
Airlines have their own planes.
Correct.
And NVOCC, they have their own containers. They only have containers. They don't
Containers
have
there.
their vessels. Shipping
They're
lines
buying.
do have their own containers also, but again, they lease out spaces on their ships to NVOCCs to maintain a healthy volume and everything. So, as a freight forwarder, we deal with shipping lines and NVOCCs and airlines also. We have multiple options to provide to a client as a time bound cargo. If there is anything, a small shipment which needs to move by air, I mean, we basically can do consolidation also, which a shipping line or airline may or might not be
Cannot
able to do directly for the client, for the shipper. That's where freight forwarder comes in handy.
What exactly are 2PL and 3PL, and how do freight forwarders fit into that structure?
2PL is basically a provider who provides services to the client with their own assets like trucks, warehousing, and everything, and they have their own assets. It's an asset based company. 3PL is basically where a provider where yeah, they manage the transportation, warehousing, custom clearance, but they are a non asset based company provider, but they might own part of the assets also, like warehousing. They might have their own, and custom clearance might be in house, but trucking might be done by a third party.
So 2PL has everything of their own,
Everything
and
of that,
3PL might have something and they can
or partly
outsource.
own. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can
Okay.
outsource also.
Okay. So let's look at with the client's perspective how freight forwarder is adding value to their business.
See, a freight forwarder with their vast knowledge of shipping lines, airlines, they have agency networks all around the world. So, moving shipments all over the world globally is much easier for clients when they choose to do it with a freight forwarder rather than directly dealing with the shipping line, where there is just an online platform or something where you can do the booking, of course, but yeah, the locals,
The
everything.
follow up and all that.
Yeah, not only the follow-ups, maybe a door-to-door delivery is possible only with a freight forwarder where they have a network with them to have the cargo picked up from origin and then delivered to destination. And of course, yeah, they provide a variety of options to the client on which shipping line is having the fastest transit time, or which is the most economical one. We maintain transparency with clients. That is how freight forwarders are more useful.
What qualities make a good freight forwarder? How a business should go about choosing the right partner?
A right freight forwarder is always chosen by their reputation, their vast knowledge, experience, and yeah, maintaining the transparency level with the clients. Of course, a client, when they initially start a conversation with an inquiry or something that they have from so and so origin to so and so destination, from the conversation itself, from day one, we have to be transparent with the client. We have to tell them which is the cost effective manner for moving it. It might move on LCL, it might move on air consolidation, it might require a 20 feet FCL of 40 feet FCL. It might move by road also. So, whichever is the cost effective mode for the transport, for moving or getting the cargo delivered to the consignee receiver, that is how a freight forwarder is chosen.
We will touch on the future of this industry with the digitalization of all the bookings and all that procedures which is now there. We can submit documents online and all. What is the future of this industry?
See, the future is still there. I mean, there's a lot of challenges in the shipping industry, which not every time digital platforms can be helpful. I mean, yeah, normal bookings can be done via airlines and via shipping lines that we have. But again, knowing the customs procedures in advance and having a vast network This can be possible only with freight forwarders. I mean, yeah, basically everything is online. You have online chat, everything is there. But in terms of a freight forwarder, there's always a face to the name. That makes the client more happy to handle with them. You are satisfied, you can say, that they have a person who's responsible for this if in case any issue arises at origin or destination. So, yeah, everything is not as you plan. There might be hassles in between where you don't plan for or you don't anticipate. So these all things can be sorted out or conveyed in a transparent manner only by a freight forwarder.
How is freight forwarder very vital to the global trade?
Well, a freight forwarder with their knowledge and with their agency network or with their offices all
Across the
over the
world.
globe, they can handle any complex task with their experience. They have registered vendors, or maybe they have a shortlisted name of companies where they deal with for any complex situations or say shipments, say maybe oversized heavy packages. This is always not possible by the shipping lines to be dealt with directly by the client or something, so they always come to the freight forwarder.
Can you give me a real life example where a freight forwarder have helped a client in navigating a shipment?
Since I am handling chartering, I would say as an example, if say a customer may be sitting in Italy, here they have 100-ton pressure vessel or transformer which needs to be moved, and my client is basically the receiver over here in Jebel Ali, and they want to get this moved from Italy. So there's a lot of planning required for that. Basically, being a 100-ton package is not a small thing. You need to have a proper transporter in place who can handle the transportation. There is permits, road permits involved, where you need at least 2 to 3 weeks for those permits to be in place before the vessel arrives and everything. So yeah, say maybe you have a shipment which is getting ready in the next month. So you need to plan 1 month in advance itself. There's a lot of methodology which is included in this, where you need to arrange route surveys at origin, at destination. Customs formalities need to be checked, both sides, on how much time does it take for such process to be in place. Basically, you pick up the shipment from origin, it takes maybe 2 or 3 days to have it delivered to the port. By the time the vessel comes in, the vessel loads it directly onto the ships using their own cranes. We need to provide real time tracking updates and everything to our client on a daily basis. And once the vessel has departed from the origin, then yeah, we need to give them ETA updates on at the destination every alternate days, so that we can plan in advance in at the destination when the vessel arrives over here. Here also again the same process goes on. Route permits, everything. Here it's a bit faster. Road permits and everything are faster to obtain. But yeah, the route survey, everything has to be conducted. We need to have a site survey on which type of trailer is accessible over there. A couple of days before the vessel arrival, we have our team, everything ready over here to receive the cargo. As soon as the vessel berths in, comes alongside for the discharge operations, our trucks will be there alongside the vessel. Once they receive it, then again, yeah, we complete the customs formalities within a day itself. And then mostly these type of shipments are moved during the night time, after midnight, after 12. That's when the roads are more accessible, less traffic and everything. So we provide escort on these kind of trucking, and finally we deliver it to the site. Offloading mostly is handled by the consignee itself. They have their own cranes and everything for offloading. Yeah, but till the truck reaches delivery site, it is actually our responsibility to deliver it on time without any delays happening from the customs or from the trucking side or anything.
If there is a delay from customs side, what as a freight forwarder we can do?
See, we can always have a manual interaction with customs, where we can send our PRO over there and try to sort of. But normally in UAE there's not much delays happening because everything is online. So the bill of entry, everything, customs bill, everything is done online itself. It's just a matter of seconds where you have the customs done over here if you have the right documentation and everything. That is of course
So
verified
that is
initially.
yeah, that
That
is
is
our
done.
scope.
That is our scope. It will be verified initially when we have the shipping documents from the supplier. We will verify that, of course, between that, and then only the process over here is smooth. Once the customs is done, I think the permissions, everything already will be there in place. So it's not much of a time taking procedure over here in UAE in terms of customs or anything. Only delay can happen is in trucking. Whenever there is an adverse weather condition where you have fog at night or heavy rains at night, so the trucks cannot move due to low visibility. That is the only time where we have delays. Otherwise, then
How do you navigate those challenges if there is fog or heavy rainfall?
see, when there is adverse weather conditions, we cannot
have to
control these
postpone
things. We
only.
have to postpone everything. Escorts, police permissions, everything has to be redone again. That is unavoidable.
But I think we still forecast if there is any adverse weather conditions.
Rains can be forecasted. Yeah, fog is like you cannot anticipate fog. It comes all of a sudden on a early morning. You can see the visibility is very low. So if the visibility is actually 30% or something, we can still move ahead with the transportation, because when we have pilot vehicles along with the trailer, it is possible. But when it is not at all possible, then we are advised by the authorities to hold the truck somewhere. In terms of adverse weather conditions, even vessel berthing also can get delayed. So that is unavoidable. We need to be transparent to the client, and we need to inform them well in advance that so and so delays are there. You might incur a day or two delay for the delivery. These are all.
These are the things which is not at all in like human control at all. So we'll have to adjust to
Exactly.
nature, Mother Nature.
True.
Thank you so much for all this information, sir. It was very educational for me also. It was such an insightful conversation, and it has blended the basics and real world examples and the future outlook also. I hope everyone has enjoyed this episode. I think it is really valuable. Up until next time, keep moving straight forward with Freight Forward Talks. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sunita. Thank you.